my computer got burned in the fire. I
Oh,
gotta kind of do my editing right here
We
when I
finna talk
post
about
the
that.
return.
All right, you said we
oh,
rolling.
it was crazy.
All right,
What I'm talking about?
all right.
Oh, it was all crazy.
Try to take like four of my brains, but luckily the power source is right there.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this episode of Show and Tell After Dark, where we talk about all things art, all things music, all things Boston. Tonight we have a very, very, very special guest. He is to the right of me. His name is Shake Paper, right? Shake Paper.
Yeah, well, Shake Paper is the artist name, but as a director, I like to be addressed as Kenneth Wynn.
Kenneth LaRue Wynn.
Please.
Period. And to the left of me, I have my dear friend Tata. And to the right of Mr. Kenneth Wynn, we have our other friend Most. What's up, Most?
Hey, what it do? What it do? It's your boy Most Generous. I'm back. Come meet the family.
You happy tonight?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trademark it. Put it in stone.
So Kenneth, so am I addressing you right now as the you said the photographer? You're Kenneth.
Like, as a professional, I want to be known as Kenneth Wynn.
Okay.
Kenneth, whatever. Shake Paper, we can get into that later.
Okay.
What are the genres?
Yeah,
You gotta talk into the microphone.
I want to start off on my fault. Yeah, I want to do.
No one heard any of that.
No,
You know them.
It's our little secret. Don't worry.
I'm gonna shoot y'all the audio.
I'm done. You go shoot us.
Can you go into what are the genres you do? For the people who don't know, can you tell us like what the genres you do as an artist?
Genres as an artist.
Genres as an artist. So like you you're a director and what else?
Okay. Well, the film Into the Jungle, that particular genre, I would consider to be a drama.
Oh no, not
Mm.
that. I'm talking about the genres you do as an artist. So like you do directing, and what other artistry do you do?
Oh yeah, like your disciplines. You were
Um,
you were a rapper?
well, no,
No. Okay.
um, because that's a tricky answer. So,
Mm.
according to his question, originally I'm a writer.
Mhm.
Mm.
So if I wouldn't be a director if I wasn't a writer. There was a time I was 18 when I wrote Into the Jungle, this book, this film. I was in prison. So what else you gonna do with your time when you wasted it and you realize, wow, this is what society let me do? Because at that time you might blame society
Mhm.
because you don't really know how you got like that. You have to
Mm.
research this, right? So we was gonna get some schooling in prison. At this time, there was Pell Grants so we can get college. So I'm 18. Bill Clinton canceled the Pell Grants. You can check these facts, everything.
Ooh. Wow.
So I showed up the day for schooling that day. So at that particular day, I said, what else could I be in prison, other than a basketball player, right? Or work out. You can be a writer because you have this time.
Mm.
So I didn't want the time to go to waste. So at that point, I at least tapped into some energies from wherever it was, from spiritual to noble silence to all of these things to learn how to write. We're at the point where you say, all right, you got to study a lot of essence of life to be able to write an impactful
Mm.
piece.
Mhm.
Yes, you do.
And that's how you become a writer. But you, the writer, when you wrote that first love letter, you heard?
Right. Right. Right.
And so we were talking, and you also produce. You also picked up a camera. So do you do photography or are you strictly like cinematography?
Definitely cinematography.
Mm.
Shout out to all the photographers out there. It's a genre of its own,
Mm.
and it's a study of its own. And wouldn't want to take any credit that I ain't take time to really dig into.
Mm.
Mm.
So big up to them.
And so out of all those things that you do, you say writing is your most passionate.
Writing is what made it all happen.
So that's what made it happen. Are you more passionate about writing or directing?
Writing.
Yeah. And the genres that you write. So we talk about Into the Jungle, which you have to give us the spec on that, but also I think we talked and you guys you wrote some like adventure type scripts in books, right? So what other genres do you do or passionate about?
I could take y'all into that real quick. So when I wrote Into the Jungle, This is around a time where things like you like artists like Sidney Sheldon, the story with Whitney Houston, Waiting to Exhale, things of them type of books. They came out, and I was kind of seeing what I wanted to do, and a brother asked me, "Do I write hood books?" So he kind of messed up with me right there because I didn't know how to answer the question, and I didn't want to be connected to like Donald Goins and like glorifying some type of life
Mm.
because I wanted to tell this story about our youth, and I wanted people to understand it from my perspective. So then I began to try to write stories with a broader, connection, so I can reach out to different people, of course,
That makes
than
sense.
just the hood story.
What is Into the Jungle? You keep referencing it. For the people who don't know, Into the Jungle is a story about what?
So Into the Jungle is a story that, and I think, from a personal touch, just to tell y'all, and this is, I learned this from when I wrote the book. I passed this book around prison as I wrote it at 18. So there was people who, might have been passing me in hallways, people who are actually in the movie itself, people who were really in jail for murder.
Goddamn.
So they passed this book around as I written it, and
Mhm.
they was waiting for, yo, what happened to Darrow? Did Darrow do that in criminality?
That's what's up.
Who killed his brother? It's the chick, I know it. So they, I was like, yo, JJ got it, or, he got chapter 8. I'll get it to you, but I'm still writing chapter 10.
You're a real author.
Yes.
You was really writing in there.
At that time, you see me? So to me, to play cards now, I wouldn't play cards as a teenager. You heard? I wouldn't play cards as a teenager. Is you picking me up here? My fault. I'm sorry.
I want to
So-
hear this thing when it come out. Full thing.
So-
It's gonna be good.
I wouldn't play cards as a teenager because I thought it was a waste of my time. I
feel
I
you.
felt like I fucked up in life,
Mm.
and that shit hurts. You say, damn, and you want to blame people, so I want to tell that story so it won't happen to them, because I really felt like some of it was on the parents. We hoodwinking our parenting,
Mhm.
and we expect us to get all these truths, and we have to take the time to get the information to pass along properly to the next generation, and we can't force feed. We got to know what we're doing, and you got to read the signs. So I felt like that was missing in something, meaning that there is structure for us there. There was things I seen and I look back. Maybe it was a Muslim brother that grabbed your hand before you killed somebody in a church. And this is real talk. You see me? This is real talk, So there might have been an occasion, where my life was saved before it was even necessary to
Right.
get me here by somebody that I knew how he was thinking.
Yeah.
You see me? So I just wanted to connect wherever he was at because I knew he knew something I didn't know.
Mm.
But that wasn't nothing like an uncle could tell me. You see me? Or somebody else, because maybe their parenting or that strategy was just different.
Mhm.
Not equipped for this new. And this is the message right here to remember. It's not really their fault. They just underestimate the weapon that's against our culture. So they underestimate the power of it.
Mhm.
That's it. You see me? So they might have fell asleep. If you remember the wave, it was the crack era, kind of made a division, So a lot of our families was on crack. And if you wasn't on crack, you had to kind of go look and do your own thing. But you was a fortunate breed because you knew better. And you'd say, I'm going to teach my kids.
Mhm.
Can't worry about what's going on right now. You see me? As the world turns, it's going to affect your kids because, it's in our faces. So now it's like I feel like it's got to be a more cultural awareness. That's all.
Right.
And less selfishness because you might not think it affects your child,
Mhm.
but, it's a circle of life.
Right.
And Mos, you're here. You're playing his main character in this film, correct?
Yeah.
What's your experience with Shakes himself, and also you embodying this character and the story that he's trying to tell?
Oh man. So I basically have to go to like the Genesis where like when I'm like
Who is your character? Let's start there. What's your character's name?
yeah. So he goes by the name of Daryl, and Daryl he's like adolescent. He doesn't get into those street things or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But basically his brother is murdered, and it devastated him to the point where it was like a part of him was like, like his a part of his innocence was killed. So that enabled him to like kind of navigate into like the street life where he had to like sell, weed with his friends and all, and he had to witness a lot. He also lost a lot of friends on the way. So it so in a way like the character like I feel like the character is me like in real life too because that's kind of like how I was like growing up in like a mitten. It fit right into my personality, and I fit right
Mm.
into like the traits of the character because even at that time I was young. Like if you watch the movie, like I'm like 21 years old. Like I'm 27 now, so
Yeah,
just
you
Mm.
look
looking at
21.
me, yeah, just looking at myself, it's like a ghost. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Mhm.
damn, like it's like 20 years from now I could be whatever, and I could look at it and be like, damn, like that could be like my son. That could be somebody.
Right,
That
right,
could
right.
be somebody's
Mm.
son. And I'm really like reflecting like my character. To people like who don't even have to look like me, but people who are from that type of like impoverishment. So it's like it's it's beautiful. It's magic. So like Shake Paper, he showed me like literally like he showed me all the angles. He showed me from like the summary, like the backbone to the character, and it just like from there on it was just like magic. Like
Mhm.
I didn't have no difficulties at all. You know what I'm saying? And from there on, we just been working, on all types of, like novels on the side, and things that are coming soon. You know,
Oh hell yeah,
yeah,
that's dope when you can play a character that you kind of have some type of connection to.
Yeah. Makes it more like realistic from the people that are watching it. Shake Paper, are you this is not the only book that you've written.
Mhm.
As of now, it feels like it's the only book I've written because as y'all, I might have talked on the side to the producer. I had a little tragedy just about a week ago,
Mhm.
so
Oh, that was only a week ago.
maybe 10 days now.
10 days?
yeah, it had to be more than a week.
So it's fresh.
But
But
yeah,
The 20th. So
yeah.
we're the second.
Oh, so yeah, about 11 days.
Yeah.
So what happened?
I had a fire, where I rest at, and also where I was doing some of the last minute creativities to connect a lot of dots from music to Into the Jungle to all my books.
Mm.
Mm.
So this is why I say I can't even answer the question and say I have them because I
Mm.
don't. Although I do have them in memory, I had a comfort, but it was kind of being hindered by procrastination
Yeah, yeah.
because I had a comfort knowing that in 3 weeks, that's all it takes, though. That they're
I can see how devastating that is, just because like I write things in my notes, so I have everything on a cloud. But I could
I heard
see.
somebody saying something. Heard over here was saying something about I always go somewhere, and I was looking at her like, oh. Excuse me. She said something about she puts everything in some calculated thing. I'm sorry, I'm nosy, but you know what I'm saying. So, I, I was like, yeah, everything got to go somewhere now, boy, because I can't. I won't
Right.
lose it again. You know.
Yeah, but
You
Yeah.
pen
have
and
to learn
paper
the
is like
lessons you
intimate.
need.
Yeah, but pen and paper is like intimate. To see that to like actually get burned, and we're talking about years and years and years of like
Yes,
writings and
this is what I'm
books.
telling you, and that's where
Yeah.
shake paper come. I know y'all wanted to ask me that, so I can just jump
Mhm.
on into that. So
Hey,
that's
proactive with it.
that's where the shake paper come from. So even just now, me and Daryl had to sit in the car and rewrite on paper. He tried to get on his
Mm.
phone, and I said, you know what? I can't visualize like this, and this is where shake paper come from. He says, I thought shake paper was just about money, like paper and money transactions and shit. And I say, well, it's ambiguous like that,
Right,
because
right,
Youth
right.
these days, man.
fake
it's
news.
really the connectivity to the paper, which is wood. You
Mhm.
see me, which is come from the earth. So you're right, and then it is to me. I believe there's some type of tangibility that I might have created and established through my art. So it's just hard for me to shake it through
Mhm.
like writing it in a text form.
How is something like like having a fire like that? Like I don't know exactly the. I know what I want to ask. I just don't know how to word it. And that's why I admire writers because it's so much that goes into writing and it's so much that goes into telling a story. I cannot tell a story for the life of me. For the freaking life of me. And it's so crazy because I was at Stop and Shop the other day, and it was this lady who walked past Kasima and I. She was bald, and she was this tall lady. She was very beautiful. And I don't know how we got talking, but she was basically telling me that she teaches, because I was like, I need to find somebody to teach me how to tell a story. And that day in the grocery aisle, she was like, I teach 4 year olds and I teach 70-year-olds how to tell stories and how to tell stories effectively. And I was like, I can't tell a story. And she was like, you can tell a story. She was like, everybody can tell a story. It's just the way in which you're taught to tell the story or in the way in which you tell the story. So for you, the first question I want to ask is how has that fire, how will that change the way you document your text or your thoughts rather moving forward? Will you have like somewhere where you put them on the computer and you write them? Would you write them down into journals and keep one somewhere else? How will you document
What's crazy is
your papers from now on, your thoughts from
what's
now on?
crazy is I kind of did that times 10 through this whole process. So you got to think, even when I was right there, your documents, the backups burned.
Mm-hmm.
You heard the
Oh
writing
wow!
to the
Woo,
writing burned.
the backup
Yeah.
burnt.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Woo!
you had computers on top of computers at
Oh
that
my.
time. You
Mm.
know, they was all. You never could imagine a situation where they all go at once. So
Mm.
Yeah.
Devil was
That's
trying to
deep.
work.
do you see me? The
Yes, sir.
backups to the backups burnt.
That's
You
deep.
see me?
Mhm.
That is
So
deep.
my notes burnt. My papers in the drawer burnt. My books that I wrote, and maybe I don't want to go that deep, but I
Yeah.
don't care. You know, maybe before I was being lugged off by a CEO, you know, for mistreating me,
Mm-hmm.
the biggest complaint was, motherfucker, make sure y'all get my books.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, homie, get my books.
You made
I'm
sure.
alright.
Yeah.
I got you, dog. I got you. I'm gonna make sure they got my shit.
Those are your treasures.
You see
huh?
me?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea, you know me, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm 19. I'm gonna be out soon. You see me?
Mhm.
But I need to take my history with me. You see me? So that's all that mattered. And that's so all the way to this day is that same I lost chapters before. I lost you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you learn to back up from that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And so you gotta have you always just gotta be proactive like y'all said and just back up and you learn from the thing and you can't say that you can't lose it again.
Right.
Mhm.
We didn't lose Into the Jungle. Imagine that. So it's only been out 3 months, right?
Yeah.
It really was a.
Oh, plug it. Where is that? Where can we find that?
It's on YouTube. Into the Jungle, not into, but enter the jungle.
Enter the jungle.
Because sometimes people put into.
I thought it was into.
No.
Enter. ENTER.
Yes,
The
for
jungle.
clarity, the jungle on YouTube. It's an amazing movie, classic. I have friends and family who might haven't watched it. I had a best friend pull up on me, old school best friend. He pulls up on me, very dramatized.
Mm-hmm.
He says to me, bro, his eyes is red. Not really sure why we're not friends like that no more.
Mm-hmm.
Emotions, right? Whatever
Yeah.
it is, still love him. He says, bro, my PlayStation, I just lost the controller. Me and my brother had a fight and cracked my screen, my only PlayStation. You know I'm heated. And I said, well, I got something to help you feel better, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He said, yeah, because that's bullshit. We always fight. I said, yeah, so if you need something, I got it for you. He says, yeah, I know you always got a good word or two. He says, give it to me. I said, well, I was in a fire, right, 2 days ago, right?
Oh shit.
I'm gonna lay it on you real quick.
Yeah. And then, after all the whole nine, I said, and I'm good.
Right.
You heard?
Right.
You lost the control.
Your ass lost a damn PlayStation controller.
Yeah, you see me? And I said,
Tripping.
I'm saying good. And I looked at him in his eyes and I said, I just told you that so you can feel better.
Right.
Mhm.
Because I might not even told you, right? But I didn't want to hold it back if you felt that bad today, right? So dig me. He says, yeah. The movie, oh, yeah, I want to support you. And I wanted to watch it. And I said, slow down. I said, you don't got to support me because I'm going to have fans. You see me? You don't have to support me. You should be watching that movie for you.
Mm.
Don't watch it for me.
Right.
And when you're ready to watch it for you, then that's going to be the right time.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you learn about marketing, promotions, and how to separate the energies. So people might be looking at views. You can pay for views. You see me? But you can't pay for business.
Mhm.
You can't pay for profit. You can't pay for understanding how to, target your audience. You have to study that. That's called
study that.
analytics. So the rest is
right.
all just, emotions. You don't put out a T-shirt and call yourself Tommy Hilfiger and then realize black people are buying your T-shirts
Right.
and whatever. I'm not going to even go there. But you
But
know
look,
what I'm
Shay,
saying?
my next question was as a writer and as a storyteller, because in order for you to put a movie together, like you got to be able to tell a story. What are the elements of a good story, or what makes up the elements of a good writer?
Are you following the standard hero's journey, rising plot action, falling action, or do you have your own style? What is it going?
Definitely probably like overstand that style, but then sometimes when you think you're doing something new, you try to use some basics to keep your
Right, right, right,
creativity in check. So
right, right.
I use some formulas in the back of my mind, but it's almost like warming up for layups. You lay up so many times,
Mhm.
you don't even think about that part,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. You
Nah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah, I play ball.
Yeah, so you just that's layups. You know what I'm saying? Layups at this degree, but you never want to forget how some simplicity, like layups or outlining, is important. Like I taught
Mhm.
him just maybe 2 hours ago, for his script that he's trying to formulate. And so me as a writer, just to give me some credit and then give you guys some credit too, to have the nerve to say that you can't write. So while you was having time to figure out other things to get gifted, I didn't have many choices because of what
I
I
see.
told you.
Hmm.
So therefore, I tapped into something
Right,
that takes time.
right, right, right.
That's all. You read, you're going through history. I gave you a quick history lesson, real quick, just building outside. You heard, and that's just because you got to take the time to read and read it again and study it
Right, right.
from communication.
Mhm.
So the beginning of my quest was I had to learn what's wrong with me.
Mm.
And not, like, why did I do this? Why did I choose and accept? I knew I was better. I knew I can do better. But how did I let the elements get me? How did I
Mhm.
let the temptation of the media, how did these structures and how did my inability to process and not have a good sword to get me sharper right there, how did that affect such terrible decision? Because at that time I knew I could have been in there forever.
Right, right,
And I was
right.
willing to be in there forever. And I knew this.
Mhm.
See me? So I thought not being loved was a good excuse to kill for my people, for my family, because people was trying to kill me.
Mm.
So that's a good enough justification for me. You see me? And it's most youth. So
Yep.
people don't understand it on this degree. So this story is a skirmish of a broader understanding.
Mhm.
But I had to begin with that. And that's why I chose to do it. I attempted other scripts with them and rehearsals.
Mhm.
But I realized, let me tap into a genre that I know like the back of my hand as I learn this thing, and then we're going to get going. So that's all it was.
I know a good literary like rule that people use is like promise, payoff. No, promise, progress, and payoff. You see the faults in the character, right, and you promise that they get better, and you see the progress without the movie, right, and then the payoff is like at the end in the conclusion, this person has overcame like their issues. Without spoiling, could you tell us like how Enter the Jungle kind of does that for Daryl?
He loses his brother, and he's immediately coming between a particular crossfire I'm familiar with, which is, you're devastated. So that's
Right.
the first chapter in my book and first chapter in the movie.
So hurt
So
trauma.
wait, you wrote the book first, then you made the movie.
I wrote the book at 18.
Okay, and you made the
That's the
movie.
book that was passed around. And then
A-
some of those people you're going to see in the movie
Okay.
Mhm.
read that while we was in prison. So if you ever looked them up and you ever had to do backstories,
I can't wait to watch it.
realer than
I
real,
can't wait.
It's a
you'll
real
ask them
Boston
individuals and they're
film.
going to be able to contrive. Some of these dudes is in jail for murder right now.
Mm.
Everything I love, and some people has passed away. Not to mention the story of Into the Jungle to take y'all to something that might be called like visionary. So I wrote it at 19, but at the same time, I still chose to sell crack in the neighborhood.
Mm.
Now hear me out. Hear me out. Like that was a very conscious. So like if you do it conventionally, that's kind of like you doing it out of you just learning life and you just need some sneakers. But
Right.
when you do it habitually,
Mhm.
it's more of a conscious because you know the dangers, you know the consequences.
Right.
You see me, and you also know what you might be giving up for yourself, trying to be God in poverty's backyard.
Right. Right.
Hear me. So people, we come from Malcolm X. I went to that same prison at that same, the same prison. You see me? So there's a structure, there's a wave, there's a pattern. You don't even know how your genes is connected. You don't even know who this man slept with. You see me over his run. So we blame our black people, and I understand, but y'all don't know how y'all are blaming. Y'all be
Right.
like critical, like you don't understand. You be like
Right.
stupid. And I'd be like,
Science.
yeah, it's deeper than that. And I'm not saying give them a pass because it's also your auntie got to kick you out for you to pay them bills on your own too. So I understand the
Story
mix.
of my life.
You see, man,
That's my
I
story.
understand the mix,
Yes, sir.
but that you shouldn't be insensitive to the structure that is designed against your Darrows.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I just identify how power is. Take the time to build with your kid, look him in the eye for a change, and hear what he's saying, and hear his cry out too, though, and learn how to tackle that, not by your frustration, but by getting the knowledge. That's all. You know what I'm
So
saying?
true.
Before it happens.
So
So
true.
I made that movie so you can realize there is going to be some part on him and there's going to be some part on the family. And that's what the movie shows. He still had to make the decision. You still just born in the womb, and that's it. The mama barely own you. If you mistreat your kids, somebody knock on your door tomorrow.
That's
You
right.
see me?
That's
So it's
right.
it's really
That's
more than
right.
just you raising that kid.
That's right.
You see me? Because you might not be as equipped as you think.
Mm.
You're not taking the time. They know that. They can't say that to your face. They help you.
So is Darrow's I know I was talking to you outside about antagonists, right?
Mhm.
To your protagonist. Darrow's the protagonist. Is his antagonist a person or is antagonist a situation that he's in?
Situation that he's in. All definitely. Most of a person is a situation because 5 persons make a situation. You see me? Easy. So his situation is he has the streets and he has people that are used to responding to this type of problem a certain way. So he has to decipher what's best for him at this time and what's going to be the difference in his life. Because at this point, it's really that simple. It's really tricky because one mistake can change the narrative, son. You see me?
So will the antagonist be the streets, like
The streets
culture?
and the collective thing. Just the music alone. I don't want to attack the music, but I want to attack the music because just the music alone is a very, it's a very low-censored music, and we don't understand that it's really a science to what it could do to our sense of
That's right.
our
Our
mindsets.
DNA.
And I know this because I watched the transition, but we're not going to go there. We're just going to stick to Darrow. So if he has all these things that's going against him, you definitely have high frequencies, which will be coming from, dancing, your mother, your auntie praising you, glad that you got that first job. I'm doing those type of things, but you have to be smart because every individual is different. So y'all have to collectively look and say, you seen Darryl yesterday? Yeah, he seemed like over that Jamie thing. Let him come on out there. So I'm going to talk to him about something. Y'all want to move to Cambridge? Right? Because they moved to Cambridge in the movie, but Cambridge was just across the
You
body of
proud?
water.
You proud of that movie? He
Oh,
proud
yeah,
to be
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
Cambridge was just a body of water so he couldn't really escape the streets. So they
Right,
knew
right,
he
right.
still had to do his job.
Right.
You see me? And that's that's for the youth. That's to say, at the end of the day, you can't blame your mama, your daddy. You can come out there and poop and just be right on the street. You still got most of the responsibility, son.
That's right.
You see me? But I just want to say to the parents, come on with the insensitivity, man. Y'all, gear up a little better. That's all.
It's very true.
Let me
Very true.
let me ask you some questions for the writers and the cinematographers, and maybe like even producers or now pre-production, production, and post-production. Most you would know that even pre-production, trying to get people together, trying to
Yep.
what you call it, get everyone, put them into the places, get the actors, get
Right,
the
right.
actresses,
Yep.
is hell.
Oh, it is.
At least it was for us.
It is.
Now, your experience with doing with pre-production, and production, and post-production, how was that? How was the whole flow of making this movie into?
Oh.
So-
You want to go?
No, I don't know who he was asking because he looked at like his eyes.
Well, you guys were in it together. I'm
yeah, but
assuming.
his
So.
eyes just kind of like.
Sorry, I'm
he
space
probably
side, yeah.
Grilled me.
I'm sorry. Oh,
So I didn't. I thought it was for Daryl, but then you looked at me at the end like.
well, cause me and Mos had experiences like I put some together before, and I've also had some failings.
Well, before he go, I can do it in one answer and let him go. I don't give you one word.
Okay.
Writer. I already explained that.
Mhm.
That was all the writing.
Mhm.
Do you hear me?
Mhm.
The managing of art, the managing of emotions,
Mhm.
the managing of character traits. That's where you're still writing
Mhm.
because you got to understand them and how they fit and how you can work. I know a Friday warrior from a 2-3 month warrior. I know who's gonna be there before their character traits,
Mhm.
and that's all part of writing.
Mm. But organizing people for pre-production.
Writing.
Okay. Most, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, exactly. Writing, because it's like when you have a character, right? You want to be able to like select particular people who may fit that, who may go into that character, and also like you also have to from like pre-production, like when we was putting this together, like it took like years, like over 5 years. So like we lost a lot of people. We even
Just
lost,
off the weight.
bro. Like
Some passed away. Some didn't want to show up no more because the weekend warrior. And then
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I know I hit you with some terms, but I was gonna
Mhm.
get back to you.
I got
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Some the weekend warriors. I'm about to shoot something in New York with a friend, and I gotta drag him through every detail so he can get with me
Yeah.
because he's concerned about all those parts.
Mhm.
You see me? And I say that's what the writer do. Not just a writer director's thing because a
Yeah.
director is a writer because he had to be a writer first. To me,
It's a little different roles though.
yeah, it is different roles, exactly. But you organizing a lot of material, so you understand who can do what, and you got to manage your capability. Even if it's just giving them a ride to the store, that's part of the script.
Yeah.
You understand she might need that. Do you see me?
Because you
That
wrote,
touch.
directed. Did you produce it?
I
Just
edited
everything?
it, I mastered it, and I also tripod some of my own shots
So.
that I'm in.
So directed, cinematographer it. Oh, some parts of it.
he's even in the
Jack of all
film,
trades,
too.
huh?
Yeah.
I had to play it, so I had to play the bad guy. I didn't want to be in it, but there was nobody else to do it.
You M. Night
Nobody else could
Shyamalan did,
play
okay.
me.
So you gotta do the job.
And I could depend on me. I knew I had to close because you get through issues where you might say, yo, remember the hat? You got that hat? And then you see him in a week. He be like, man, that was my cousin's hat. I'm like, bro, I thought you were going to keep the hat. I said, next time I'm collecting things in the bag. You know what I'm saying? And you're taking props. So at least as my character,
Mhm.
if I need to reduplicate the scene, I can count on me. I knew I had to
Right.
clothe in. So I said, damn, I had to chalk this up as a win. You see me? Because I could depend on me. I don't want to have to tripod myself, but I did to pull it off.
For aspiring writers and directors, probably more like directors. Say like people in Moses' situation where he wrote something. I'm not completely sure if he wants to direct it, but he's trying to put together Tales of Nubian Square.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I've been on the project with them, but we've struggled with getting dates together, getting the people there. You know what I mean? That's the thing where a lot of us like kind of struggle. What would you give for advice for people who are trying to put together a project for the first time?
Well, that's deep. So, I mean, first time, I guess I would start with sacrifice, just because that's going to be the biggest element. That's going to be how you do and move. So, to take you not give me 2 minutes. So, my buddy Quentin Lewis, he's about to put out a movie called Frosty.
Mm-hmm.
So, he asked me a crucial question. He said, well, these black guys and whatever guys and all these people with these positions in our city, they have access to what we need. He says, but why ain't doing anything? Why ain't putting nothing out? What's going on? So first I had to give him his biggest credit to my man Quentin Lewis because he taught me a lot of things I know, and you're gonna see in a minute from his movie Frosty. So I tell him because they don't got you. He says what? So I break down. I'm not gonna break down the math that I had to break to him. It's a little personal. But I said that's why he don't understand. I said, bro, you gotta look at your gift and who you are because you sacrificed, and that's
Right.
the difference.
Yeah.
They still gotta own their homes. They still think, well, look at where we at. I'm homeless. You see me?
Mm-hmm.
For art. You see me?
Right, right.
But I'm still geared up for the bag. I'm still geared up for what I might got to do to win for my children. It's just not as clear as yours because you didn't sacrifice. You secured a different bag. Kudos to you. Kudos to us. But we trying to work against each other, and that's where the crab in the basket come. You know, we each feel like we stepping on each other. It's hard to get over that scenario in our head, but we truly need each other because I've been in the streets and I know these stories, and I took the time to derive information on how to tell a story and how to get at the people. And other people have too, but they might not sacrifice as much. Do you get me? Because that's where it comes from, sacrifice. That's time. Who you going to take it from 24 hours a day? Who you take it from? Your kids. You know, you got to survive. You got to eat. You got to feed your plate. These are, this
You
is
also gotta
math.
feed your
This is
passion.
what make you a God body. When
Yeah.
you can math all of this out. That's why I said writer. Because to me, a writer is a potential God. Now, what make me not a God? Because I ain't spiritual with it, and because, you know, I still might smack the shit out of somebody. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But to me, that might make me right now
You
not.
gotta smack people.
I'm sorry. No, you don't. No,
Absolutely,
you
man.
don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. But you
He's
do.
wiped out a couple of people.
Yeah,
I would call that smacking.
But all I'm saying is that's to me. I wouldn't profess because I would want to be humble. I want nobility and humility to be more addressed correctly before I take on some type of term. But those are the works of a God.
Yeah.
You see me? Of a God body. Spiritual thinking, math, connected with your body, your earth. Somebody might say, well, spirituality. Somebody might say spirituality and science is two different things. You know they don't know what they're talking about
Right.
yet. I'm not
Right.
going to go with them and fight with them over that. But you know absolutely they're not connected all the way on their thing. But, you know, you need to be, I heard them building over there, nosy again. But, you know, you need to be somewhat naive to continue a certain path. It's just
deep.
necessary. How you gonna travel to the moon knowing you gonna die before you get there? Because somebody would take that trip to Jupiter one day, and they don't know for sure.
Yeah, Elon's gonna do it. But also, what's next for Shakespeare? Like, in Kenneth,
Tales of Nubian Square that just been certified like
Yes, sir.
4 hours ago.
Yes, sir.
For the simple fact,
Ooh, hell yeah.
just because you know, I don't wanna drive another tractor trailer by myself. That's for fact.
What you mean? Oh, like write something and
I
direct
had
it
to
all over
write,
again?
shoot, pay.
Yeah, right. It's a lot.
organize, to the point where, let's get personal now, to the point where it might be like, I might seem like, or get an energy, and correct me if I'm wrong, even the people who are part of the energy, and I apologize if I explain some things wrong to some of my cast. I'm just going to tell about my feelings. And so it's, you know, it might be a point where you seem like some people might think that you owe them because they helped you,
Right.
Oh.
which is natural.
Mm-hmm.
So remember
Tick
these
for tack, yeah.
delicacies. Yeah, tick for tack delicacies. We're human, so I respect the delicacy
Right.
because I'm delicate in some instances, right? We call them pet peeves sometimes. We give them names, right? You're like, I don't like you know. So whatever. So I gotta respect the next person's delicacy to say, even if I don't understand or agree with it, or we haven't talked about it because we're poor communicators. You see what I'm saying? At the same time, I want to try to put the most positive spin on it because it's so easy just to whim and say, you know, talk about the bad part of your delicacy,
Yeah.
and then then just come off insensitive. Am I right? That's all. That's all you gain. I mean, did you watch Joe Budden do it? All
so
right,
funny.
whatever. But anyway,
Mhm.
I shoot shots. I'm sorry, but because he's a great interviewer. But sometimes you just gotta remind yourself of that because we're humans, and I feel like us as black people we're less forgiving
Yes, sir.
because we just been through more.
Yes,
That
sir.
the
Yes,
back
sir.
to that element. You see me?
Mhm.
So you be like, so that's all. You just want to address that if you could and make you an artist. That's all.
Yeah.
Or make you good at what you do.
So.
But Wendy Williams was good at what she do.
She was
Yeah.
good.
But what happened at the end of the day, the
She was
crumble.
good.
You see me? So
Yeah.
you good at exposing people when you live in a
A
glass
weird
house.
ass life.
So
Yeah.
it's a weird thing. It's like a
Yeah.
catch-22. Do you really want to be famous? You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Do you? You don't even know yet.
Right. You don't
Mm.
even know. That's right. You don't know what it takes.
Until you get there, at least.
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Then we
Mhm.
see how you deal with it.
Mhm.
Because how do you know how you're gonna deal with being burnt in the fire until
Right.
you get burnt?
Mm.
So you were saying that you just got certified. Are you So when I said what's next, are you working on different projects? Are you gonna take this movie and submit it to local films or films in general, international
Well,
films?
don't hurt my feelings right now. But you did. So the movie potentially would be stuck on YouTube because I burnt everything, raw footage, potential for re-uploads. So
Mm.
I had to let that just go down as a classic and move on. I had got some. So I have been getting reached out before the movie. I don't want to live in the past to tell you the truth.
Mhm.
Y'all don't want to see me cry.
Mm.
You heard? So I want to move on with
Mhm.
great memories, and that's where Tales of Nubian Square come in because it's gonna make me engage with this brother, and a good 50% of the engagement is fortified by his loyalty and his his innocence, where he's not been tainted to the point where he's not able to still grow from the process of what we all been through
Mm.
to at least me feel like he can be greater from this point on, and I want to help him be greater if
Yeah.
I could, because he has gave me his time and his energy,
Mm.
and how can I reward him? And
Reciprocate.
he's still there,
Yeah.
but the other cast member, they're not sitting there. She or him could be sitting there, and I would feel the same way about them, even though in their disappearance. But just to say at the same time that it is what it is. I only can flow with the wave
Mhm.
that's in front of me.
And for those who don't know, Tales of Nubian Square, Most, give us a quick summary of it for what people can look out for.
Yeah, so Tales of Nubian Square is basically like a thriller drama. It's going to be basically all the African spiritual deities related to African culture. I'm going to personify them as actual human beings, and they all get different stories. And also, there's going to be different stories that tell like about a scenario and different ways where they can end. So it's gonna be completely fun. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely, and it's also going to be black owned. So you know what I'm saying? Me and Shape Paper were working on that, and we was actually today we was in the car. We was working on like the plots because I've been working on it for about like 2.5 years, even in the beginning of COVID, and I remember to go into like early questions, bringing people together. I've realized that it was hard, and because it's like not everybody can see your vision. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
That's right.
that's what I had. I learned how to learn that the hard way.
And
Right.
doing anything by yourself is hard.
Yeah, that's So and I was just like, all right, I need to like go back to the drawing board and think like, yo, who can I really like bond with like when it comes to like writing, how or who can I go to for like guidance on like visual arts. Yes, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, and also come meet the family. You know what I'm saying. So
No,
it's
it is,
like,
yeah.
yeah. So that's why I love like when artists come together, like,
Me too.
because it's like we all like have a common denominator
Mm.
and like a common interest in a way. It's whether it's just networking or just telling about like our stories. Just being
Right.
Bostonians and black. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
that's like the community that, and it's like And I remember I'm like, yo, infrastructure. That's what we need right here. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really gonna love to see this collaboration. And I know you guys are back at the writing process because you guys are revamping the writing. Now, if people want to say they're interested in this project, they want to either be an actor or actress, or they want to volunteer in some way and help out. Where can they reach you guys?
Ooh, me.
Oh, me. Pick up the mic.
So before he tells you all of that, so I did want to bring an idea. So it'd be good to bring to Daryl the idea on film. So I thought.
Who's Daryl?
Sorry,
I'm
God
sorry.
damn.
I'm
I'm so
sorry.
sorry.
We call him Mos.
He calls me Daryl.
No,
all the time.
I'm so connected
used
to the
Right,
character.
to
I
the
call him the
character. I'm
same.
like, who's Daryl?
Oh my goodness.
Daryl?
Oh my goodness. I
I'm
do
like, Mo,
that.
that's your real name?
I give
Yo,
people.
but no,
Yes.
That's how you get connected.
No,
That's how you
that's
get
what-
connected.
Even my ex or even my daughter would be like, "Is that Daryl?" I'm like, "That's Daryl,
That's
baby."
Daryl.
Like
I love
she
it.
know, you
I
know what I'm
love
saying?
Even Renata, yo, shout out to Renata.
Renata Huggins.
I would always call her mom. They're like, hey, ma, yo,
Yeah.
we making fried
That's
chicken.
how
What's
you. That's how
happening?
you get connected.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
Yo.
I think I don't know if y'all see the film. What y'all think? I think it was a beautiful strategy, connectivity,
Can't wait to see
classic.
it.
I don't know about what people who might not want a slow story, but I do know there's a large percent out there. Particular taste, you're gonna love it. Whatever that taste is, and wherever you at, taste
see.
it, taste
Right.
it. Go ahead and taste it, but when you're ready,
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's,
But I-
nothing's for everybody.
Mhm.
But I love
There's no
to
such
see,
thing.
But I love to see this intergenerational collaborations.
Yeah. So I think with the tales from the
Nubian Square.
I think that to me personally, like just now, I tapped into a spiritual moment as I realized I have this new camera.
Black magic.
You've been sporting it too.
Yeah,
I'm ready to take a
I brung
picture.
it like a chain. I really just like I'm gonna
ready.
wear my gold chain today. That was the matter.
This your chain?
That,
Okay.
I'm wearing my
Yeah,
gold
that's-
chain today.
This your Jesus
I ain't
piece.
shooting anything. You don't see me doing anything with
Yeah.
it, right?
Right.
But I
It's
said
Darth
I'm gonna wear
Vader.
my gold chain. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
part of the
It is
brand.
becoming
It's part
you.
of the brand.
It
So-
has to become you.
That's
It's a
what
part
I
of
was
you.
on. You know what I'm saying?
I would do the same
pardon
thing.
me. I mean, it's a $5,000 gold chain. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
With no
right.
diamonds. You know what I'm saying? The diamond is a different strategy.
The diamonds
Right.
is what comes out of it.
Exactly. So
That's the
so
flavor.
as I got this gold chain on and I'm kicking it with Darrow, I realized that as he told me this story about Nubian Square, to give me some credit, tap myself on the back, I said, if you really can just close your eyes and you really can tap into the story, you're gonna be able to help them. You see me, because you're loaded right now. Hear me out. I'm Biggie Smalls that never released an album in the writing world, right? Check me out, because then they burnt on top of that. Studies, strategies, but that's okay. I know the characters, I know I know what I was all doing, so I can implicate all kind of strategies. Not to mention those 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
Hold up, times 2, those 20,000 hours times whatever. You see me? 100,000 hours. I know those hours was my training days, and I know you're not going
Right.
to take those.
That's
you see
right.
me? And you're not going to get those. I'm at 48. Jesus was 33. Malcolm X was 33. I did 5-year bid. Did a lot of yoga. I'm about 3 years off schedule. That's cool. You see me? All right, I'm gonna stop right there.
You doing your calculations?
Yes.
Before we wrap up,
Into the cup. Bye.
before we wrap up, is there anything that you would like to plug or even like talk about regarding?
I want to focus on what's the future in the Nubian Square.
Hell yeah.
That's what I want to focus on. Into the Jungle, we're gonna do advertisement. I got uncles, I got best friends who ain't watched it and whatever, and I said cool. But I also got strangers or enemies that reach out. You see me? So you get to understand. I get to live analytics. I had one of my artists, and I'm not talking about you, sweetie, so don't be mad. And I'm not gonna say her name.
Talk about you.
But she said, she tried to bluff me. She was like, and those views, and I said, well, according to analytics, what you're saying
analytics.
is a little inaccurate. And
They don't match
she
up.
actually had the nerve to come back and say, well, I was just talking anyway, and it just, I said, I know, because according to analytics, those, you know what I mean? Because it's a
Yeah,
slang,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So as we advertise, we're gonna get into the jungle there one day, and I'm not worried about that. And I feel like the new bag and the new wave and the new message is gonna help me get there from an advertising perspective. So I'm not even worried. You know what I mean? It's not a blockbuster. It's not blockbusters. You know what I mean? This is our life.
Yeah.
You heard? So we give it to you when we want to give it to you the way we're gonna give it to you, and it's gonna get dark. I want to get to Kansas, right? Daryl's in Kansas. Daryl's in the Philippines. Daryl is in New York right now. I know Daryl's in New York right now.
Yeah.
All right? I'm looking at the New York stories. They got some good ones. They don't have this one. You see me? So this is what makes us who we are, and
unique.
kudos to everybody else with their story because they be great too. And I'm like, wow, there's a good message everywhere. I just wanted to tell ours this way, Boston this way, the dark, the deceptive, the streets, the eeriness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The intelligence, but we don't do nothing with it. You heard? The colleges, but we don't do nothing with it. That's all I'm saying. We don't have none of these benefits. So I want you to understand that's a jungle right there. It's not necessarily guns and drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
You see me? It's a psychological jungle.
Right.
One more time, give us a YouTube channel name and then also the title of the film.
So the YouTube, all you got to do is this. You go to YouTube. You're on YouTube, right? And you see the little circle that says search. You go into search. You type in Into the Jungle. I should come up there first, Into the Jungle, or second, because Guns N' Roses is also in the jungle too.
Okay.
You get me? But we're right there with Guns N' Roses with no advertisement. You know what I mean? He's probably got millions of followers and views. You see me?
So this right here, just look at it's Enter the Jungle movie by Kenneth Wynn.
Kenneth
Sounds
Wynn.
good.
Yeah.
But what's so good? What's so good on the search? Just start the enter, the, and then by the time you get the JU,
It'll pop up.